How's it going?
Good, you?
Good, good. So welcome here in a car park with Hsiao. And we're going to be working on some jam moves and also doing a little bit of street skating. And yeah, we're just going to try a few things out, just like the other episodes, and see what we can come up with. Anything to say?
Enjoy.
Enjoy. You heard it. Enjoy. When we were in the car park the other day, we were practicing a sort of move that had a turn.
Oh, yes. So you always start in this stance. So at the same time, you're pivoting on your toe.
It's a twist, and you're pivoting from the heel to the toe.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it. Like with any jam moves, there's a transference of weight. So in this move, you're kind of doing sitting back and then leaning forward and then sitting back again.
Okay, so that lean will help. So we've got, when your heel's lifted, you're leaning slightly forward, right?
Yeah, you're putting your weight in the front leg.
Okay.
And then you lean to the back leg.
In that bit, we drop our weight to the back.
That's it.
And then when we do this turn and pivot and switching onto the toes, where does the weight go?
The weight goes back to the front.
It stays on this leg, right? But then as we do...
So you sit back again.
It moves onto this leg.
So when you switch, you kind of need to bounce up to pivot.
So you've got to drop the weight on that leg, switch, but also in that switch, there's also a bounce. Yeah.
Exactly. I was showing somebody the other day and they had some trouble. So I got them to practice this.
Okay, so this is a drill we can do before doing the full move. We're switching weight and we're also adding that bounce element.
Exactly. And you'll find every time you do this, you're focusing your weight on the front leg. You bounce kind of obviously to get the groove, but in practical terms, you're actually bouncing to be able to enable your feet to move. So let's do the move again after that. So you should feel a bit more comfortable, I hope, anyway.
I'm comfortable with that.
And then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Another way to help you with the switch is every time you twist your hip, you swing your arm back, the same arm that you're putting on the toes, you swing your arm back. And also, you want to have some type of articulation with your upper body.
So we've got the weight transfer, the turning pivot, the bounce, the arm movement, and a bit of a hip.
That's it.
When we were trying this before, I was so rubbish. So like actually breaking down those different stages is definitely helping it click a little bit more.
So like I said, it doesn't have to be a full 180 degrees because
it can be like that.
Yeah, maybe keep it to 90 or 100 degrees like this, because then there's less to turn and then your move is mostly contained.
I've only learned this today. It's not going to look perfect. Yeah.
Another tip is when you're on your heel with your front leg, you can kind of let it roll. So put a little bit of a weight on your heel.
You can actually let it roll a little bit.
Yeah. Heel, tuck, heel, tuck.
An arm thing. Let's get an arm thing.
Heel, tuck, heel, tuck, heel, tuck, heel, tuck, heel, tuck, heel. That's it.
And looking up is the thing when we always look down at your feet when we're learning the move, right?
I'm the worst.
Okay, so.
That's it. Looking good.
The thing is, it's hard to like put it all together straight away because I was doing it and then I was just losing the arms.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously the smoothness won't come in a day, right? Or in your first time learning it.
A simple move like this, once you get the basics down, then you can make sure it's, how you know it's clean is when you do it without the music, the tapping feels rhythmic.
So it should be like ticka, 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 ticka.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay, so. It's on its way. It's coming, I promise. It's coming soon. There's one more move that I've seen you to do that I couldn't really figure out by myself because there's only so much sometimes you can learn from videos. Although this one's good, you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a pivot back and then side.
Oh, like this? So, again, I don't know the name of this move. So with this particular move, you need to think of it as a snap. So
And where's the first position for the feet?
So you want to be in a V, then you bring it forward and then pivot and put your weight on the front leg.
When you do the snap, you have to
Exactly.
insert weight like
Exactly. It's like an emphasis. It's like a full stop.
snap.
And then back to the V.
Okay.
And then you do the same.
On the other side.
That's it. Learn this move. What you can do is bounce, 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 bounce. What you can do is put on your favorite track. It doesn't have to be.
By itself.
Yeah. Or you can bounce by yourself.
But often, sometimes you just need to get that bounce.
Yeah. The bounce is
idea of the
very
bounce.
essential to helping you actually maneuver your body weight. Da 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 da. Again, you want to make sure, if you're going by the sound, make sure they're all even. And if you're doing one move a bit too fast, or a transition or a pivot that's too fast, maybe slow it down and then get it all even before you speed it up again. When it comes to jam moves, it's always easier and better for you to learn it slowly and then speed it up.
And you literally just have to do this for, the more you can do it, the more it's just going to get in your legs, right?
Exactly. And then eventually you can add the snap.
In the snap, there's also a sort of a dropping of the weight, isn't it?
Exactly, because you're landing it with your weight. And also, landing it helps you to bounce back up to go to the other side. Now that you have the snap, when you cross over to the other side, at the same time, your back leg go on the toe.
Oh, snap.
That's it.
It's a bit similar to a move I did with Amir on the first video where we had a move where we'll do that, but then reset and then the other side. So really that was just the end element.
That's it, yeah. So that's actually a variation of the same move.
But when you're traveling back, do you travel straight back to that V, or do you roll back?
As you can see, what happens is I'm rolling on my toe as I reset. And also anything that involves crossing your legs, you have to make sure you're bending your knees down enough for you to actually be able to cross efficiently.
That's just going to need work. What's your favorite move at the minute?
I'm working on spinning at the moment. So,
Okay, let's see what you got.
something like that. I've started to do more the fast spins, and right now I'm just at the point where I'm trying to push with my shoulder to maintain the spin.
So using that shoulder
Yeah,
to help take you round. It's like we said before, it's like not just the legs, but actually using the upper body and the shoulders to help you take you round and to move. And I think especially the spin, like that shoulder really helps give you the rotation.
yeah,
into it.
it's really scary because I'm trying to push myself to do more, but using my shoulder to keep the momentum. So it's very scary when you're just really upright and really fast.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's hard to think, it's like to stay grounded so you don't travel too much with the spin, right, as well.
Yeah.
Because if we slightly shift our body weight, we can kind of go backwards or forwards. Actually being able to do a spin really on the spot.
Yeah, been working on actually staying really, really upright.
Like keeping our body position quite upright.
Yeah, and also keeping the shoulders level as well.
Yeah, I think there's like a little bit, they sort of rock.
Yeah,
I kind of visualize there being a spot. And sometimes if you've got a basketball court, a netball court, if there's a circle in the middle, sometimes I try and practice within that circle as a challenge. And that could be a really good way to kind of see how much you're drifting away from your starting point.
yeah. I've tried to implement Kengo's tip about keeping the skates parallel. I didn't realize sometimes you can go out
When we say in parallel, we mean like
when you go on your toes.
keeping them in a line like this, right?
Yeah.
Rather than them going out
Exactly.
or other way going in into pigeon toe. And a lot of it is like, for me, like when I spin, I'm actually very relaxed, and you're right, it's like everything's sort of centered in the core
Yeah.
bit. Because once you're in it and your leg's in position and your body's going direction, you'll continue to move. Like
Exactly.
you generate the right momentum. But it's just keeping that center point nice. And I think definitely the one thing I could improve is the arms. Like some people do some sort of fancy stuff with the arms, or, you know. So let's try and just do some spins in sync. So if we stand next to each other,
Yeah.
and then we'll do, just start with one spin. So we'll do a similar thing with the arms out. What we'll do is we go around, tuck it in. As we come out, draw it out again. And the emphasis is here when we're controlling how we exit and kind of finish in a very similar place. So, yeah. And actually, when I do this with the arms in and out, you're telling yourself I'm coming out of the spin rather than falling out of it.
I see.
That's why sometimes it's good to like take the number of spins down and control the exit before you increase the reps. So just one and control the exit.
That's a really good tip, actually.
And then we'll do two.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, wow.
Yeah?
I didn't think I was going to do it.
No, we got
like
it,
that
nailed
clean.
it. This might be the best take.
Oh, that was really easy.
Okay, so we're going to do three in a minute. Let's get
Oh my
one
God.
more two. Okay, so now we'll go for three.
Okay.
So then 1, 2, 3, exit.
Okay. So. Wow!
Yeah, smashing it, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's do 4. Okay, let's
Okay.
aim for 4 and then we'll do a few the other side. A little bit of drift. The more reps you do, it becomes harder. That's when you begin to start to get the drifts, because that's when you add.
Yeah.
Because the 3, we got to 2 and the 3 was all right. As soon as you start to get to 4,
It's keeping it.
that's when we start to slip out of this really precise, keeping the central, everything centered.
Yeah.
So let's just, for fun, just try a few the other side. So we'll do,
But the other side.
starting with 1 again. I mean, this is not my comfortable side, but the same principle. Weight nice and centered, exit on the 1.
I can only do heel and toe with this one.
Or revert to heel and toe, whatever you're comfortable
Yeah.
with. Okay, it's a bit ropey, but let's try and go for the 2.
It's actually quite fun.
Okay, so we're jumping ahead because we're not really refining them, but for time's sake, we'll try 3.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think you're going to get much better on this side, but practice both sides. I'm happy with that for my weak side, so We'll leave it at that. We've got the street skates on now, so we're going to do a bit of street skating.
Yeah. Backwards.
Backwards street skating. Or chop and shuffle.
Chop and shuffle.
Are you going to do the takeoff thing? I can't do the takeoff.
No, I can't really take off.
Yeah.
No, not with the mic. That's a takeoff.
What, is that the main stop you do when you're going backwards?
I'll show you actually. Or I like this one. This one's mainly forwards if I want to like stop suddenly forwards.
The other main stop as well, a lot of people do is the pivot now, so they would go and just use that to take off the speed.
I do that one, but I tend to try and filter it out to a full stop.
So you're using the spin just to give yourself more time?
Yeah.
Oh. This is why you wear knee pads. Oh, yeah. What not to do? I told myself not to do any street skating in the jam boots. So we do, you mess up your jam boots, man. So another move that I've been doing a lot is a double shuffle. So instead of kind of chopping and then shuffling, you kind of do it twice. You go from one and straight into another, and then keep in a straight line. Yeah, so as you place the foot for the shuffle, landing on the outside edge and rolling, letting it drift around. And there's also a bit of a hip movement as well. When the feet land, just place and let it roll. So place it and let it roll on the outside edge. Roll on the outside edge. Let it roll. Yeah, let that roll and roll. Yeah. So getting the timing, so both feet roll for a similar amount of time. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So just like when we do a jam move, getting the timing similar on both sides. Place, outside edge, place, outside edge, place. Roll on that edge, roll outside. Really use our shoulders to help. So if we're also rotating the shoulders as we do it, that rotation of the shoulders in sync with the feet. Nice. And when you first do it, you don't feel like you got much control because that position doesn't feel that safe. But if you get that weight in that back foot when you do it, so weight transfer to that back foot, and then let you lift that other foot back.
Because obviously I have naturally, one side is more trained and conditioned.
When you're placing it, sort of more like a gentle press into the ground as you roll around on that edge. Press the weight down. let it roll around. Get more press and a roll with it, just like a press and roll. Press, yeah. And actually, if you can accentuate the shoulders, it helps get that flow that we want. Outside edge, press and roll into it. The flow of it is starting to come, right?
Yeah. The shoulders really bring out the flow.
So that's the end of this session, this episode. Yeah, we've done quite a big variety of moves.
A lot.
Yeah, probably too much. But it was a very long drilling day and some really super useful insights. I really like the stuff about the sound and following the sound of your feet to help you get with the music, and then pushing some of the street skate stuff and mixing it a little bit as well. And that double shuffle is actually one of my favorite moves, and it's kind of one like at the minute I'm doing it a lot. Yeah. It's just something really satisfying about it. The sort of flow behind it as well.
I mean, it shows because, you know, when you do your double shuffle, it's very, very smooth.
Cut to me being buttery smooth with a double shuffle. But yeah, that's it. It's been a long day. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
It's all right. But yeah, keep rolling and see you on the next episode.
Bye.
And roll out stylishly. I'm happy. You happy?
Yep.